Hello and welcome to United Buzz, your daily destination for all things Manchester United. From breaking news and match updates to transfer talk and exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, let's get started. The gates of Carrington swung open on Monday morning, not just for training, but for a new era. It wasn't loud. There were no fireworks, no declarations, just the steady hum of boots on grass, the soft murmur of staff, and the subtle sense of something beginning. Among the faces arriving for the start of preseason, two stood out. One, a £62.5 million striker with fire in his eyes. The other, a teenage defender from Paraguay, stepping into the dream of his life. Matheus Cunha and Diego Leon have officially reported for duty, and with them comes not just expectation, but hope. When Matheus Cunha walked through the doors of Carrington, he did so with purpose. Signed from Wolves last month in a deal worth £62.5 million, the Brazilian forward is more than just a new signing. He's a statement, a symbol of United's shift under Ruben Amorim. Quick, technical, direct. Cunha fits the new system like a tailored glove. But make no mistake, he knows the pressure. This is Manchester United. This is the theater of dreams. And he arrives with a point to prove. Cunha didn't ask for time. He didn't plead for patience. He came to hit the ground running. And now, with preseason officially underway, his mission begins. There were smiles at Carrington, handshakes, introductions. But behind it all, Cunha was locked in, focused. The kind of readiness you can't fake, because this isn't just another club for him. It's a platform, a stage, and the spotlight is waiting. Across the same pitch, a quieter story was unfolding. Diego Leon, just 17 years old, stood among seasoned professionals. Not wide-eyed, not overwhelmed, just present, calm, collected, ready. The young defender completed his move from Cerro Porteño in Paraguay last week, becoming United's second signing of the summer. For fans, it was a quiet announcement. For Diego, it was everything. Years of training in the heat of South America, nights dreaming of Europe, mornings studying defenders twice his size, all of it led to this moment. And now he's here, introduced to his teammates, handed his training kit, given the first look at the environment that will shape the rest of his life. He isn't expected to start in the first team. He may not make headlines. But don't mistake silence for insignificance, because in Carrington's halls, this is where United are rebuilt, not just with money but with vision. And Diego Leon is part of that future, quietly, steadily. With every session, he grows. But it wasn't just the new signings who turned heads. Two returning stars, each with a different journey, reported with ambition in their eyes. Heaven, the young talent who impressed in brief glimpses last season, arrived determined to build on a promising start. Preseason isn't just preparation, it's opportunity. And for Heaven, this summer could be his audition, a chance to earn more, a chance to be trusted, a chance to step beyond the academy shadows. And then there's Amad Diallo, brilliant last term, electric in moments. He arrives not to prove his worth, but to double down on it. The kind of player who fits Amorim's demands, technical, brave, disciplined. For Amad, this preseason is about solidifying status, turning promise into permanence, showing the new manager that he's not just part of the squad, he's part of the plan. There was no arrogance in his arrival, no over-celebration, just sharp focus, a quiet hunger, because he knows he's close to breaking through. Though not all senior players have returned yet, the atmosphere has shifted. This isn't the same Manchester United that drifted through last season. There's structure now, urgency, the whispers of a high-pressing regime, the early sparks of a tactical identity. Behind it all, Amorim watches, clipboard in hand, system in mind. He sees Cunha jogging through drills. He notes Leon's movement and posture. He observes Ahmed in Heaven, young, fearless, eager. And he's not here to wait. He's here to build. Every run matters. Every ball matters. This is no longer preseason for fitness. It's preseason for future starters. It didn't come with fireworks. There were no cameras flooding the gates. Just a new striker, a young defender, two hopeful returnees, and a manager with a vision. But make no mistake, this was the beginning. Cunha's fire, Leon's calm, Ahmed's belief, Heaven's hunger. They all came together on a quiet Monday at Carrington, and from here, it only grows. Because Manchester United aren't just preparing for a season, they're preparing for a transformation. In a surprise move reported by The Sun, the club are now exploring a deal to bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free transfer. This wasn't on anyone's radar. Not fans, not pundits, not even the rumor mill. But there's logic in it. The 27-year-old former Everton striker has had a career full of highs and injuries. On his day, he's a commanding presence, A natural target man, lethal in the air, and hard to contain when fit and confident. As a free agent, he costs nothing but wages, and in today's market, that's no small advantage. United's interest isn't to make him the centerpiece. This is about squad depth, options, experience. Amorim's pressing game requires energy and rotation. Calvert-Lewin wouldn't start every game, but in a long, intense season with 4 competitions, he offers something different. A plan B, a presence in the box, and crucially, availability without risk. This is a smart, quiet move, the kind of signing United haven't made enough in recent years. It's not flashy, but it's functional, and that's exactly what Amorim wants. But as the Calvert-Lewin deal stalls, United are shifting behind the scenes. Manchester United have made their position clear. They want Bryan Mbeumo. The 25-year-old forward has long been seen by Amorim as an ideal fit for his attacking system. Explosive, intelligent, hard-working. Mbeumo isn't just another winger. He's the kind of player who turns transitions into goals, who presses with purpose and finishes with calmness. United have made 2 serious bids. Both have been rejected. Brentford are standing firm, demanding £63 million with no room for negotiation. According to the Evening Standard, the West London club will not lower their financial demands under any circumstance. This isn't brinkmanship. It's a statement of value. Brentford know what they have in Mbeumo, and they're not going to back down. As of today, no third bid has been submitted, and Brentford have made it clear. If there's no deal by the weekend, Mbeumo is expected to report for pre-season on Monday. No delays, no distractions. And United, they're running out of time. Every hour that passes increases the risk of losing momentum. If Mbeumo walks into Brentford training on Monday in full gear, under the cameras, smiling, the signal will be obvious. This saga is slipping away. For Amorim, who sees Mbeumo as a system player, not a luxury but a necessity, the situation is growing tense. The silence from Old Trafford is telling. The next 72 hours will decide everything. While the spotlight focuses on marquee names, a new face has arrived in silence. Diego Leon, a young defender from Cerro Porteño, has completed his move to Manchester United. He's just 17. But within South America, he's already regarded as a composed, intelligent defender with leadership qualities beyond his age. Tall, disciplined, and sharp with his positioning, United see him as one for the future. He won't be making first-team appearances yet. He's likely to start in the academy or U21 squad. But this is part of a growing pattern at Carrington. Early investment in high-ceiling talent. No fanfare, no Instagram welcome video, just another piece of the foundation being laid. Amorim wants depth not just for today, but for tomorrow. And Diego Leon may be part of United's long-term future in defense, quietly, patiently, and steadily developing. The storm is gathering over Old Trafford. Mbeumo's deal is at breaking point. Calvert-Lewin's name has emerged from the shadows. Watkins is now a target, not a rumor. Diego Leon has already walked through the doors. This isn't noise, this is the rebuild. And now, with pre-season starting Monday, United must act. There's no room for delay, no time for hesitation, because the world is watching. And Amorim, already at Carrington, is ready to begin. According to fixtures, the Nigerian superstar has set his sights firmly on Old Trafford as the place to write the next chapter of his career. After months of speculation, offers, and interest from all corners of Europe, it appears United is the destination he desires most. But this story isn't just about who's coming in. It's also about who's heading out. Rasmus Højlund's future is hanging in the balance, and the club's pursuit of Bryan Mbeumo has hit unexpected turbulence. Let's break it all down. The Spanish outlet Fixtures has dropped the bombshell. Victor Osimhen has chosen Manchester United as his preferred next club. Not Bayern, not Chelsea, not Paris, United, and not just United, but United under Ruben Amorim, the new architect of a revolution. The report claims that Osimhen has been particularly swayed by the Portuguese manager's vision, a project built on high-press intensity, attacking bravery, and youth-driven hunger. It's a system that suits Osimhen like a glove. United, it seems, have sold him the dream, a powerful resurgence at the theater of dreams. But here's the catch. The deal is not yet done. Fixtures confirms that United must now adjust its accounts, a delicate way of saying that financial gymnastics are required. Whether it's through outgoings, salary balancing, or transfer structuring, the club must move swiftly and smartly to turn Osimhen's desire into reality. While one striker dreams of joining, another may be on his way out. Rasmus Højlund, the young Dane who arrived last summer with the weight of the number 11 shirt and enormous expectations, is now reportedly more likely to leave Manchester United than stay. That's according to Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic, a name that carries weight when it comes to internal club matters. The report suggests that a permanent exit is more likely than a loan, a sharp reversal for a player once viewed as a cornerstone of the club's future. Struggling for consistency and seemingly lacking the confidence of the new coaching setup, Højlund may find his time in Manchester cut short just 1 year in. Inter Milan are circling. The Serie A giants, well aware of Højlund's promise from his Atalanta days, are understood to be interested in securing the forward's signature. A move back to Italy might just reignite his career. And if Højlund goes, United already have a contingency. The name on United's radar is Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa's relentless forward, prolific, Premier League proven, energetic, and perhaps most importantly, available. Watkins fits Amorim's desired profile, mobile, clinical, and versatile. If Højlund departs and the Osimhen deal proves too complicated or slow to close, Watkins could step in to spearhead the United attack next season. There's no confirmation of a formal approach yet, but he's firmly on the shortlist. And then there's Bryan Mbeumo. Just a few days ago, the Daily Mail reported that Manchester United were hoping to wrap up a deal with Brentford by the end of this week. The player has reportedly given positive signals, and Amorim sees him as a key addition on the wing, someone who can bring directness, creativity, and intelligent pressing. But here we are, Friday morning, and there's no deal. The silence is loud. This doesn't necessarily mean the move is off, but it suggests that final details, be it fee structure, personal terms, or Brentford's replacement strategy, are still being ironed out. United fans had hoped for a decisive announcement. Instead, they're still waiting, still uncertainty. Victor Osimhen wants to join, but United must act fast. The financial and structural groundwork must be done swiftly to avoid missing out. Rasmus Højlund's future looks bleak. His exit would mark a rapid turnaround in faith and direction, possibly indicating that Amorim is ready to ruthlessly reshape his attack. Ollie Watkins is more than a backup plan. He's a serious target, and his name being floated suggests the club is preparing for all outcomes. Bryan Mbeumo remains in the crosshairs, but fans must now hold their breath through the weekend. United are moving, not just with intent, but with a new kind of clarity. Amorim's influence is already being felt. Players like Osimhen aren't just being chased. They're choosing Manchester United. But choosing is only the beginning. Now, the board must deliver. The accounts must be balanced. The exits must be clean. According to The Athletic, Rashford is prioritizing a move away from the Premier League this summer, should he leave as many now expect. This isn't a case of a forced exit or a soured relationship, at least not publicly. Rashford, by all accounts, still respects the club. But the time for a new chapter feels like it has arrived. The 27-year-old is open to a permanent transfer, a loan, or even a swap deal, so long as it gives him the fresh challenge he craves. And his intentions are clear. He wants to go abroad, and he wants to join a club where he can compete for major trophies. The pressure of England, the constant spotlight, and the emotional toll of carrying United's expectations for years have all taken their toll. Now, Rashford wants to breathe again, to rediscover himself in a new environment. Rumors of interest from clubs like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and even Italian sides like Juventus continue to swirl. While United would prefer a clean, permanent sale, most interested clubs are still weighing up loan options, particularly due to Rashford's high wages, reported to be around £370,000 per week. Whatever the outcome, this summer feels like the beginning of Rashford's farewell tour. The irony of these two stories playing out side by side isn't lost on fans. On one hand, United are desperate to bring in a new dynamic winger in Mbeumo, someone fast, fearless, and clinical. On the other, they're preparing to lose a once-beloved winger in Rashford, someone whose story began on a cold night under the floodlights of Old Trafford, and who, at his peak, seemed destined to become a club legend. Now, it's transition time. Behind the scenes, the club is working hard. They know that signing Mbeumo would send a message, not just to their rivals, but to their own fans. It would show that this United, under Amorim, is proactive, smart, and ready to back their manager's ideas. And with Rashford possibly departing, the move becomes more than just a signing. It becomes a statement. Now the club must decide, hold on to what was, or commit fully to what could be. As it stands, the road ahead remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. This summer is not just about players changing clubs. It's about Manchester United changing their future. Will Mbeumo arrive and become the next fan favorite? Davide Fratesi, a dynamic midfielder from Italy, Fratesi is known for his energy, drive, and tactical intelligence. Manchester United have officially approached Inter Milan to explore the possibility of bringing him to Old Trafford. While formal talks haven't yet started, The club has made it clear they want to understand the conditions of a possible transfer. The timing could be just right. Inter Milan, under financial pressure and shifting internal strategies, have reportedly dropped their asking price from €50 million, around £42.9 million, to €35 million, about £30 million. It's a significant discount for a player of Fratesi's caliber, a midfielder who thrives in transitions, defends with heart, and attacks with clever timing. However, the competition is fierce. United aren't the only ones circling. Tottenham Hotspur, Atletico Madrid, and AS Roma have all been linked with the Italian international, and that means United will need to move quickly if they want to avoid another case of what could have been. But it's not just about arrivals at Old Trafford, it's also about the opportunities that are slipping away. One such name is Jarrad Branthwaite. For months, the talented young centre-back at Everton was seen as a top target for Manchester United. Tall, composed, and already showing signs of leadership beyond his years, Branthwaite looked like he could be a long-term defensive solution. But now, that door might be firmly shut. Everton have acted swiftly and decisively by offering the 21-year-old a new 5-year contract, locking him in at Goodison Park until 2030. It's a major blow for United. Their defensive frailties last season were laid bare time and time again, and a player like Branthwaite, young, Premier League proven, and with massive potential, was a key part of the club's original vision. But without a formal bid strong enough to sway Everton, the Toffees moved to protect their asset. Branthwaite is staying, and United will have to look elsewhere. As United scramble for reinforcements, another subplot is slowly building: Marcus Rashford's future. Once hailed as the future of Manchester United, Rashford now finds himself at a career crossroads. After a difficult season, marked by inconsistent form and questions about his role under the new system, Rashford has become a subject of interest abroad. Earlier reports hinted at a surprise approach from Bayern Munich, and now those whispers have grown louder. CF Bayern Insider has confirmed that the German giants have added Rashford to their long list of potential summer targets. Bayern are watching carefully. They see Rashford as a versatile, experienced forward who could thrive in the Bundesliga, especially in a more fluid attacking system. For Rashford, a move abroad might offer a reset, a chance to rediscover the spark that once made him one of England's most promising talents. But Manchester United aren't ready to let go easily. Rashford still has a contract running until 2027, and the club values him both as a player and as a symbol of their academy success. Yet the growing interest from elite clubs like Bayern and the internal questions about his long-term role mean his situation could become one of the biggest stories of the summer. The mix of ambition and uncertainty has left fans divided. Some believe this is a necessary shakeup, moving on from the old guard and rebuilding with a new identity under manager Ruben Amorim. Others fear that United could once again fall into a pattern of half measures, too slow to act on targets, too stubborn to release players, and too cautious to fully commit to a new vision. There's no doubt that this summer will define the next few years at Old Trafford. The pursuit of David Fratesi signals United's desire to rebuild their midfield with energy and quality. Missing out on Branthwaite forces a rethink in defense. And Rashford's future? That might be the emotional core of it all, the heart versus the head dilemma that every big club eventually faces. And while fans eagerly refresh their timelines, hungry for updates and here we go confirmations, one thing remains clear: the story of this summer is far from over. Manchester United have started writing a new chapter. Whether it ends in glory, Manchester United and Chelsea could be preparing for a straight swap that few saw coming: Alejandro Garnacho for Christopher Nkunku. According to The Athletic, United are interested in bringing Nkunku to Old Trafford. The French forward, known for his versatility, creativity, and eye for goal, has had a difficult time settling in at Chelsea due to recurring injuries. But when fit, his quality is undeniable. Meanwhile, Chelsea have been longtime admirers of Garnacho, the Argentine winger whose explosive pace and flair have turned him into a fan favorite at United. Still just 20, Garnacho has shown flashes of brilliance, but under Amorim, there are doubts about how he fits tactically. So here's the theory: an exchange deal might just work for both clubs. United want a more complete forward. Chelsea want direct wide attackers. Both clubs are navigating financial fair play regulations, and while no agreement has been reached, the foundations are being laid for a deal that would send shockwaves across English football. It's rare that two young, high-profile players swap shirts across rival Premier League clubs, but this summer is proving that almost nothing is off the table. While the Garnacho-Nkunku situation simmers, Manchester United are closing in on their second big signing of the window, Bryan Mbeumo. After already landing Matthias Cunha from Wolves for £62.5 million, The Red Devils are now looking to secure Mbeumo before preseason training resumes on July 7th. And there's urgency behind it. United's attack desperately lacked width, energy, and end product last season. Mbeumo, coming off a 20-goal season with Brentford, offers all three. He's quick, two-footed, agile, and perhaps most importantly, wants the move to Old Trafford, having reportedly turned down approaches from Tottenham and other clubs. The only hurdle? Brentford's valuation. United have already seen two offers rejected, the most recent around £62.5 million, as Brentford demand closer to £65 million, paid up front. Still, both clubs are continuing talks, and the feeling is that a compromise will be reached soon. If completed, Mbeumo would walk into the starting Tsawan, possibly on the right flank, replacing the inconsistent Antony, or perhaps even filling the space if Garnacho departs to Stamford Bridge. Then there's Marcus Rashford, the homegrown hero, the academy graduate, the man who once carried the club's hopes on his shoulders. But now, he's at a career crossroads. After a disappointing season marked by poor form, off-field distractions, and tactical inconsistency, Rashford has found himself on the fringes of Amorim's plans. And with his wage packet at £370,000 a week, United are no longer seeing value for money. Enter the suitors. Newcastle United have long been interested. But now, another giant has emerged. Bayern Munich. The German champions are monitoring Rashford closely, especially as they look to build a more dynamic forward line around Harry Kane. The appeal of a move to Munich could offer Rashford a reset, a new league, a fresh challenge, and regular Champions League football. But here's the catch. Both clubs only want a loan deal, while United prefer a permanent transfer to help balance their finances. Still, the fact that Bayern are in the mix changes everything. Rashford might be hesitant about leaving the Premier League, but the allure of joining one of Europe's elite teams, alongside Kane, is hard to ignore. If United can find a loan deal with a future purchase option, or perhaps include Rashford in a bigger swap scenario, they may just be able to move on from a complicated situation and free up funds for their rebuild. Make no mistake, Manchester United's summer window is about more than names. It's about identity, about finding the balance between youth and experience, star power and system compatibility, emotion and execution. The moves being considered, Nkunku for Garnacho, £60M plus for Mbeumo, and the exit of Rashford, aren't without risk. But they signal something we haven't seen from United in a long time. A plan. The next few weeks will determine if that plan becomes reality, or just another window. Gyökeres, the Swedish goal machine, locked in a dramatic standoff with his club. Another revolves around Hugo Ekitike, a young French striker whose price tag and potential have lit up a battle between United and Arsenal. And the third involves manager Ruben Amorim, who's made a bold request that could shape United's coaching future. These aren't just headlines. They're signs of a club trying to move in a bold new direction, but facing resistance from every angle. When Victor Gyökeres signed for Sporting Lisbon, few expected him to become the beating heart of their attack. Fewer still expected him to be fighting to leave just a year later, but that's exactly where things stand. According to transfer insider Fabrizio Romano, Gyökeres has told Sporting he has no intention of playing for them again. Not next week, not in preseason, and not when the new season kicks off. He feels let down, betrayed by how the club has handled his transfer situation, and he's had enough. It's a stunning twist. Sporting's president Federico Varandas tried to downplay the situation earlier this week. Speaking to Portuguese outlet O Jogo, Varandas stated, "If Victor stays, we will be very, very happy, and it will be a problem for our rivals." But the message coming from Gyökeres' camp is crystal clear. He doesn't want to stay. United have been watching this unfold with keen interest. Ruben Amorim, who managed Gyökeres at Sporting and brought out his best, sees the striker as an ideal fit to lead his front line at Old Trafford. The chemistry is already there. The player wants the move. The only thing stopping it? The fee. Sporting are demanding a release clause north of £85 million, and they're showing no signs of budging. Even as Gyökeres digs in his heels, the Portuguese side insists that unless the full clause is paid, he stays. It's a dangerous game of brinkmanship, and one United need to handle carefully. As the Gyökeres saga drags on, Manchester United have been actively searching for alternatives, and Hugo Ekitike has emerged as a prime target. According to Bild, Arsenal have entered the race, and not just as casual observers. The Gunners are seriously considering a move for the Eintracht Frankfurt forward, who has already drawn comparisons to Thierry Henry for his pace, technique, and eye for goal. Ekitike, once on PSG's books and now lighting up the Bundesliga, is valued at a staggering £85 million, according to upper-end estimates. That's the same bracket as Gyökeres and Victor Osimhen, two other strikers United have been monitoring. So why the obsession with these elite No.9s? Because United need firepower. Last season's goal tally was among their lowest in the Premier League era. Rasmus Højlund, though talented, needs support or rotation. Antony and Rashford haven't been consistent. Bruno Fernandes can't carry the attack alone. In Ekitike, they see a striker with the potential to become a Premier League star. Young, dynamic, hungry. But now, United must fight off Arsenal,